Hello, gardening friends. How are you? It is Sunday Fun Day here at Gardening Mindfully. I'm Zenith, and I hope you are doing well. Spring is in the air, and I cannot contain my excitement. The last few weeks has been cold, dreary, with a lot of rains and heavy winds. There is sunshine outside today, so I thought, what better way to enjoy the day but to go outside and take a peek and see what's coming up. What you'll notice on our quick walkabout today are some of the 800 spring bulbs that we planted in January of 2023 this year, that they have started to poke their heads up through the soil. You'll also notice that the daffodil bulbs that we planted in January of 2022 have emerged. Most of them have emerged, and some of them have already started to bloom. You'll also notice that some of the perennial shrubs have started to show new growth. We have the Radiance Abelia that is leafing out. We also have the double play candy corn spirea that is showing red leaves, which is new growth. You also will see the Francis Mason Abelia along with a few other shrubs that are showing signs of new growth. In addition to that, you'll also notice that we have not yet done our garden cleanup, so there's some cleanup that needs to be done, and we also need to add a layer of mulch. So those two things will happen in another video. Let's head outside and take a peek of the signs of spring. Here you'll see some daffodils that we planted in 2022. Those are getting ready to bloom. Here are some daylilies. Here we have a pomegranate, and it's starting to show signs of new growth. So everything in this garden is fairly small. This garden started in 2022, so you'll see bare spots just about everywhere. So we're starting to build the garden. But our pomegranate is starting to show signs of new growth. Here we have a buddleia or a butterfly bush. And you'll see that there's also a lot of new growth here. These daffodils we put in 2022, and they have already emerged. Some are still emerging, and they are getting ready to bloom. So you'll notice these plastic forks here. What I did was to use the forks as a marker. So when I was planting in 2023, I knew where to stay away from so I would not disturb these bulbs. But you'll notice that they have emerged, and these are getting ready to bloom. Here are some more 2022 daffodil bulbs, and look at that moss that's growing in the back there. That tells you how much moisture we have received in the last few weeks. We had a lot of rain. Trim this back. There's a double play candy corn spirea with a lot of new growth. Look how red those leaves are. Mason Abelia. Beautiful new growth. More daffodils back there. Another Francis Mason Abelia. So I probably need to trim this one back. More daffodils here, and you'll see the new growth there of a agapanthus. I believe that's blue. I also bought a few more agapanthus that I would put in this bed. So this is on the east side. This is my east side garden, and there's a lot of seedlings down here. I'm not exactly sure what these are. I don't recognize them, but I'll let them grow for a little bit until we figure out what they are. But it's quite a few of them. Not sure what they are. Still more daffodils from last year. This is our snowball viburnum. So we had frost that burnt a lot of the new growth, but I think it should be fine. That's frost damage. So here you'll see more moss. That's a sedum. That red growth you see there, that's a sedum. Daffodil again is from 2021. My Indian hawthorn got frost damage. That white fork, that's, I believe it was tulip bulbs that I planted in January of 2023. And this area is heavy clay soil, so I'm afraid those bulbs may have rotted because we got so much rain. What you're seeing there, I think that spike there, I think it's Mediterranean bells. These utensils that you're seeing here, these are bulbs that were planted in January of 2023. The rose bushes are yesterday, and I added some slow release fertilizer. Walkway garden. These are the tete-a-tete daffodils, and I just absolutely love these because they are so tiny and beautiful. So the bulbs that were planted last year, some of them have already emerged and are blooming. We have some more tete-a-tete here. We have Euchorella. Sedum autumn joy, and as I mentioned, we have not done any garden cleanup yet. Here's a Radiance Abelia that's starting to leaf out. And this is a sedum. I think this is Sedum Angelina. It's coming back. This is a red dragon Japanese maple. No signs of growth yet, but it's a healthy plant. Back there, that's a stand of Mediterranean bells that we planted in 2022. Radiant Sabelia. Autumn Joy. Let's take a look at the two Allen garden beds. This has to be a bulb that was planted last year. But look, you'll notice these are tulip bulbs that we planted in January of 2023, poking their heads up. Double play candy corn spirea. There are more tulip bulbs. This is Mediterranean bells. Tulip bulbs coming up. So in this Allen garden bed, we planted 50 tulip bulbs. This camellia is a Camellia sasanqua. Camellia sasanquas generally are winter blooming, as opposed to the japonicas that blooms in the springtime. More tulips coming up. These are the two urns that are at our front door where we did the lasagna garden. We started with daffodils in the bottom and topped it off with some early blooming spring bulbs. This is a Japanese magnolia that we put in 2022. This is the east side garden. So we planted some tulips and daffodils here as well. You'll notice that they start to come up. Again, that plastic spoon marks the spot where the bulbs will be emerging. This is ice plant that we added just a few days ago. Tulips coming up over there. That will happen during our garden cleanup. This is a perennial chrysanthemum that needs to be cut back as well. All of these dustamilla will also need to be cleaned up as well. Oh, Laura Pedlum took a hit. You'll see there's a lot of winter damage on this Laura Pedlum, so we'll clean it up as well. We have a pot here with some daffodils that are coming up, and we also planted some red lion bulbs that we had growing indoors last year. So we overwintered them outside in this container as an experiment to see if they will last through the winter. Thanks everyone for joining me on this quick garden tour, our first tour of 2023. Don't forget to like and share this video. And if you are new here or a returning visitor, kindly subscribe so we can grow the channel. Bye for now and see you in the next video.